But if you work on such nails using an E-file technique, the material can chip off at the free edge and there can be lifting. But first let's open up the pocket, because the more we cut with a sharp tool, the more it tends to build up. We've only removed the horny layer. Hello everyone, friends. My name is Olga Tolkacheva and I am the lead instructor at the Biatag School. Today we've prepared a video for you on how to perform an E-file manicure on mature hands. Our model will have hands in this initial condition. And often, when faced with such a large amount of work, technicians just pick up a pair of scissors. In addition to all this, mature hands often have a very thin cuticle that spreads over the nail and blood vessels that are close to the surface, just like in our case. But if you treat such hands using an E-file technique, the roughness on the sidewalls won't build up as much and the cuticle will grow back evenly and neatly. So, let's get started. And after watching this video, be sure to give us a like and leave a comment. Let's go! We have rough sidewalls that are about to crack. A thin cuticle with blood vessels close to the surface, and it's also slightly spreading. The material has chipped off at the free edge and there is some lifting. That's where we'll start. We begin removal from the center, moving from the cuticle to the free edge. We work with the central part of the bit. As we approach the lifting, we remove it with very careful movements. Removal on the left side of the nail is done with the tip of the bit, while slightly turning the finger toward yourself. And don't forget to shield the sidewall with your finger to avoid touching the skin. From left to right, clean off the remaining old material near the cuticle and remove any excess bulk in the center of the nail. There was also a small area of lifting on the right side. Carefully remove it by tilting the client's finger slightly, working with the bit from the free edge toward the cuticle. After removing the product, assess the condition of the nail plate. We won't be keeping the length, so we remove it right away with the bit. Hold the bit perpendicular to the finger and move it from left to right. The removal was done with a Manicure medium grit bit at a speed of 35,000 RPM on forward. Now we move on to shaping the nail. We're going for an oval shape. Start filing from the sidewall towards the center, removing the remaining length. Finish by perfecting the shape with light movements, and be sure to clean the nail surface from any leftover old product and lift the scales. Our nails are now ready for the next step. Let me remind you, our cuticle is thin, lying flat on the nail, but the skin is dry. We'll be working with a medium soft abrasive. But first, let's open up the pocket for more delicate work with the drill bits. Using gentle, careful movements with an orange stick, we separate the cuticle from the nail, going around the entire perimeter. With the orange stick, we only separate the cuticle and then use a pusher to lift it up as much as possible. Make sure there are no areas where the cuticle is still stuck. To check this, lift the finger higher and gently stretch the cuticle. If everything is fine, we move on to working with the drill bits. We start removing the pterygium with a medium-sized corundum cone bit. We start working from right to left. The first 3 to 4 millimeters of the bit should rest on the nail plate. Never hold the bit at an angle. Also hold the bit slightly diagonally in relation to the center of the nail. Work with small short strokes, trying not to lift the bit too high. The roughness that has significantly built up on the lateral nail fold is also treated with a corundum cone bit. To clean everything as thoroughly as possible and set the cuticle into the groove, go over the area with the bit several times in circular motions. At the same time, you need to apply slight pressure with the bit on the skin to lift the cuticle. Otherwise, you may encounter problems during the cutting stage. A poorly prepared cuticle will be difficult to cut or may even start to smooth out instead. And this is how the cuticle looks after working with the corundum bit. The next step is to clean off the remaining pterygium under the cuticle, in the sinuses and in the lateral grooves. Now we are working with a small drop bit of medium soft grit. And since we will be working in 2 directions, we start by working in forward mode and cleaning the left side. When cleaning in the cuticle area, hold the bit at a slight diagonal. And no sharp angles, otherwise you could file through the nail plate. This bit is also mainly used to refine any roughness on the sidewalls. Try to remove all dryness with the bit as much as possible. And since we are filing down the rough side walls rather than cutting them off, the skin here will grow back less, and over time it may even stop growing back altogether. This is different from cutting with scissors because the more we cut with a sharp tool, the more it grows back. And this is a completely normal protective reaction of our body. We all know very well how uncomfortable rough skin on the sidewalls can be. Clean off the dryness until it is completely gone. If there are any areas left unfinished, it can lead to flooding during application and as a result to lifting. Finally, go over the sidewalls once more. Work with the drill at a speed of about 15 to 18,000 revolutions per minute. Remove the dust and check if everything has been cleaned thoroughly. If everything is fine, switch to reverse and, as a mirror image, treat the right side. Pay attention. The drill bit sort of glides along the nail, wrapping around it without any sharp angles. At the same time, apply gentle pressure with the drill bit on the skin, which allows you to remove the pterygium. Make short, consecutive movements. With this technique, you'll clean the area faster than if you use longer, slower movements with the drill bit. Don't forget to treat the lateral nail fold. Even though the roughness isn't as pronounced on this side, we still need to remove all the dry and coarse skin. After finishing the cleaning on both sides, check to make sure everything is clean and then move on to the most important step. Our model's hands are mature and very dry, and the cuticle was slightly stuck to the nail. However, at the transition point where the keratinized part attaches to the living tissue, the boundary is very thin, so it's important not to overfile the skin. We take a microphone bit with a medium soft abrasive, 3.1 mm in diameter, and at a speed of 10,000 revolutions per minute, we first trim the cuticle exactly where the dry part is attached to the living skin. We work with a light pressure using the bit on the skin, precisely along the transition boundary. And as soon as we thin out this edge, the cuticle easily starts to come off. Be sure to help yourself by stretching the cuticle. This way, the bit will catch the skin more easily and remove it faster. Next, use the same bit to work on the dryness on the lateral nail folds. A medium soft abrasive is ideal for working with this type of skin, because by applying light pressure to the bit, we perform the removal. And if you reduce the pressure on the bit, this abrasive also serves as a polishing step. As you can see, the bit has thoroughly worked through all the dryness and roughness, and at the same time, there are no abrasions on the skin. We have only removed the horny layer. But since our model's skin is extremely dry, we absolutely cannot skip the polishing step with a soft abrasive. Now we're working with a bud bit with a red notch at a speed of 15,000 revolutions per minute, and we simply glide the bit over the skin without any pressure at all. Our task is to clean up the small flakes that remain after the cut. And it's very important to smooth out the skin's texture as much as possible after the cut, so that no fraying appears. We go over our cut with the bit, just above it, and be sure to finish by smoothing out our lateral nail folds. And this is the result we've achieved. A purely hardware manicure. What do you think?